Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another PUBG video. Today's video is an in-depth guide on the horizontal recoil and the various settings and foregrips you can rely on to minimize it. This will massively help you have a better gun control and hence increase your chances of winning your 1v1s. We have a lot to cover, so I hope you guys stick around till the end and enjoy the video. So as an introduction, in order to minimize the horizontal recoil, you need to understand what it is. It is actually the sideways movement of your gun when spraying it. Let's take an example here. We have a barrel and an AUG with no grips and no compensator, no muzzle. Try to spray at a wall and you'll see that the gun goes upwards, and that's the vertical recoil, with a sideways movement. You see the AUG here is going a little bit to the right and then back to the center, a little bit to the left, and that's the gun's horizontal recoil pattern. But there's another type of horizontal recoil, which is the horizontal recoil, or the noise that you guys create yourselves when trying to compensate for the vertical recoil. And that's why I have prepared 3 tips for you today. 2 of them are meant to minimize the noise or your own horizontal recoil. And the last one is meant to deal with the gun's horizontal recoil pattern. So the first tip is to have a balanced right stick dead zone. Let's assume I set it to 0, which means that my right stick is very sensitive. And I'm spraying 6x barrel. Let's look at the slow motion here. I'm trying to compensate for the vertical recoil, but I apply a little bit of pressure on my right stick to the right, and then I created a horizontal recoil to the right. That's just noise. That's not the gun's horizontal recoil. That's just my own horizontal recoil that I created, and I should avoid it. So let's set it back to 10 and test with the same barrel. You can see that although I do have some movement to the right, but it's not as much because my right stick controller is not picking up the noise that I'm creating. So basically I am creating some noise, but my controller is not picking it up at the same rate as if I have a sensitive right stick. And same for the AUG. You can see that with a right stick dead zone that is 10, I almost have a perfect spray. But when I set it to 0, I create some horizontal recoil for myself that I can really avoid on a gun that I'm so used to. So try to find a number that suits your controller, because every controller has a different drift to it. And when buying a new controller, I highly recommend that you revisit the setting to make sure that the number still works for you. Moving on to the second tip, which is related to the vertical sensitivity multiplier. I strongly believe that this setting creates or can create noise and hence horizontal recoil, since it adds a multiplier to the rate at which you're pulling your right stick down or up. This creates inconsistencies. I understand that this setting is meant to help newer players to control vertical recoil, but once they get used to it, it's better to lower it as much as possible. And here's why. I'm trying to spray a barrel with a 6x scope with no attachments. You can see that I have some horizontal recoil, but it's still manageable. My shots are concentrated in more or less one area. And I would say that's the gun's horizontal recoil, since I don't have any attachments on it. Now let's set it to 100 and test again, of course with the same barrel. You'd see that as I was trying to compensate for the vertical recoil, I pulled a little bit too much down to the right, and because I have a multiplier, my pull has been exaggerated. So if I was in a gunfight, I would have missed most of my shots. But that doesn't happen all the time, because you're not going to make the same mistake all the time. But still, you want your sprays to be consistent. You don't want to be punished hard for making a mistake, because you're bound to make mistakes. If you're in the middle of a gunfight under stress, you're definitely going to make mistakes. The goal here is that you would want a setting that will allow you to make mistakes without getting punished for them. And look at the AUG. As soon as I bump the this setting to 100, I'm suddenly not hitting perfect sprays on a gun that I know inside out. Like, I have memorized its recoil pattern, and that's why I think this setting is very important for the horizontal recoil. Moving on to the third tip, which is how to choose the best grip for your gun. This is meant to help you minimize the horizontal recoil pattern of the gun itself. In short, the best two grips to control the horizontal recoil are the half grip and the angled grip. Both of these grips come at the expense of the sway control, but you don't really care about that when spraying an AR because you're not holding your breath anyway. While the half grip helps with the vertical recoil, the angled grip doesn't. So I only recommend using the angled grip if you are very confident controlling your vertical recoil. Since it has no impact on the vertical recoil, it has a huge impact on the horizontal recoil. It is actually my favorite grip at the moment. It's my go-to grip, especially on the 5.6 weapons. The vert grip, as the name suggests, helps with the vertical recoil only, while the thumb grip's main feature is the ADS speed. I don't use it that much. The lightweight grip is mainly for DMRs. It helps with the weight control when breathing and firing. In summary, my favorite grips are the angled grip, half grip, and vertical grip, but with a catch. I have an unpopular opinion. I might get a lot of shit for it, but I don't really care. The vert grip does not work on the 5.6 weapons. I hate it, especially on the AUG. The 5.6 weapons have a lot of chaotic horizontal recoil. For some reason, in the past, the vert grip was the go-to grip for everyone, but I think they changed things maybe silently, I don't know. But for the 5.6 weapons, I love the angled grip and the half grip. I never use the vert grip. For the barrel, however, I still like the angled grip, but if I can't find it, I just go for the vert grip because it has a little kick to it, like a vert kick to it. I do not like the half grip on the barrel. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Like, mathematically, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it doesn't feel right. And ultimately, what matters most is how your gun feels in gunfights. So in order for you to pick the best grip for your weapons is to just jump in the training mode and shoot at a wall without trying to control the recoil. And just look at the recoil pattern that each grip can give you. I'm trying to spray the barrel with an angled grip equipped, and you can see here that the spray on the wall gives me almost a straight line with very small zigzags. A larger zigzag means that you have a lot of horizontal recoil to control. A small zigzag means that your pattern is closer to a straight line, and that leaves you only with a vertical recoil to control. You can see here that the angled grip has given me almost a straight line, which is exactly what I want, and that's, if I don't create my own horizontal recoil or noise, means that I don't only have the vertical recoil to control. One last small tip is to try as much as possible to crouch during sprays, AR sprays. This will greatly reduce both the vertical and the horizontal recoil. And that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something from it. And as my character is suggesting, it's a 10 out of 10. And if you did, please hit that like and subscribe buttons. And I will see you all in the next one.